Former House Oversight Committee Chair and guest co-host today on Outnumbered.
Well, thank you. Yeah, one lucky guy.
So, speaking of one lucky guy, now it looks like Michael Bloomberg is going to he's qualified for the debate. His people say he will be there tomorrow night in Las Vegas. But if you're Michael Bloomberg and you've suddenly risen to something like second place just on TV commercials, do you actually want people to hear you talk?
Well, the strategy of spending, $400 million on television ads is working pretty well for him.
Yeah.
I think it's a total rebuke of the current Democratic field. I think there's a desperation on the Democrats' part. They don't have somebody that can beat Donald Trump. The message on the economy isn't going to work because the economy is working so well. And I think there is desperation out there. But for the first time, he's actually going to have to answer questions and talk about his record. And I don't know that he wanted to qualify for that debate, but I'm glad to see that he's going to have to actually stand up next to the others.
That's a big question. Which of those past controversial comments will he be held to account to answer to? Here's just a few of the clips of things that have been unearthed recently.
There's this enormous cohort of black and Latino males aged, let's say, 16 to 25 that don't know how to behave.
Move that suggests perhaps the exact opposite. Is this all being done with a wink and a nod to please the president? He's popping up on TVs and all over Instagram, but with new momentum for former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg comes new criticism from his fellow candidates. Plus, it's deadly, it's unknown, and it's up to communist China to be honest about the danger. But now a truth seeker has gone missing as the U.S. sees the number of coronavirus cases jump. Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper. We begin today with the politics lead, and today new serious questions about the independence at the Justice Department and Attorney General Bill Barr. Despite Barr's public show of frustration last night telling ABC News that President Trump's tweets about Justice Department matters make his job harder. A protest that critics say is rooted not in Barr's desire for independence, but in his desire for the illusion of independence, as even some supporters of the president on his favorite channel seem to suggest.
And the media sees the sexy story of Trump versus Barr, but they miss the fact that Barr was basically telling Trump, don't worry, I got this.
I got this. That's because when you look at Attorney General Barr's actions, he largely seems to do what President Trump would want him to do. This afternoon, U.S. officials told CNN that Barr is ordering a re-examination of high-profile cases, bringing in a U.S. attorney to take a second look at them. These include the case of retired General Mike Flynn, former Trump National Security Advisor. Flynn, you might recall, pleaded guilty in 2017 to lying to the FBI. He is currently awaiting sentencing. New scrutiny of the case would certainly please President Trump, who 3 days ago asked about the sentencing of a different felonious friend, Roger Stone, said this.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves. What they've done to General Flynn, what they've done to others.
President Trump also openly congratulating Barr this week for taking charge of the case involving Stone by undercutting the Justice Department's own prosecutors and recommending far less prison time for Stone than initially suggested. It is interesting how often in the president's worldview the prosecutors seem to be the bad guys and the criminals are the good guys. Case in point, today the Justice Department dropped its criminal investigation of former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, a Trump nemesis. Now, theoretically, one might see this as a sign of Bill Barr's independence, but a Trump transition team official told CNN he sees it differently because he says McCabe should have been cleared of this long ago. So why the delay?
There's no question this timing is suspicious, that it comes right after the finalization of impeachment, and the fact that this was a helping talking point, a useful talking point to Trump, that no, it was a witch hunt. This fed into his witch hunt.
We should note that McCabe is a CNN contributor. This pattern has Democrats, such as House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff, saying, quote, Barr fools no one. He's a witting accomplice to Trump's attack on the rule of law. As CNN's Boris Sanchez reports, however, President Trump today is insisting that while he has not yet done it, he has every right to intervene in Justice Department matters.
Thank you, Mr.
Fresh off a denial he can be influenced by the president, Attorney General William Barr facing new scrutiny today after sources say he secretly ordered a re-examination of Michael Flynn's case, seeking no jail time for Trump's former national security advisor who pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his ties to Russia.
The president has never asked me to do anything in a criminal case. I cannot do my job here at the department with a constant background commentary that undercuts me.
Trump today throwing Barr's words back at him, claiming he does have the right to intervene in DOJ investigations, tweeting, quote, "This doesn't mean that I do not have, as president, the legal right to do so. I do, but I have so far chosen not to." While sources say Barr has voiced his frustrations to Trump in private multiple times, officials telling CNN Trump did not know Barr would go public. Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham now insisting Trump wasn't bothered by Barr's comments, as Trump's Republican allies say the president should listen.
I have confidence in Bill Barr. I think he's doing a good job, and I think he's told the president this is not helpful, making it difficult for him to do his job. I think the president will listen to him.
Meantime, Trump eagerly awaiting findings from another investigation launched by Bill Barr into the U.S. intelligence agency's handling of Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be.
Despite a consensus among the entire intelligence community that Vladimir Putin launched a covert effort to undermine the 2016 election, the New York Times reporting today special investigator John Durham is looking into unfounded deep state conspiracy theories touted by Trump and some of his allies that U.S. intelligence agencies framed Russia. Sources say Durham is even investigating former CIA head John Brennan, who says the whole thing is...
Well, I think it's kind of silly. I'm certainly willing to talk to Mr. Durham or anybody else who has any questions about what we did during this period of time in 2016.
And Jake, the president is leaving the White House as we...
...is affecting the campaign. It finds the former New York mayor is now in second place with 19% support behind Bernie Sanders, who has jumped into a commanding lead at 31%. That 19% qualifies Bloomberg to debate the other candidates for the very first time tomorrow night in Nevada. Nicole Killian is in Las Vegas for us. Nicole, good morning. So the campaign is responding how exactly?
Yeah, good morning to you, Tony. And this morning, Michael Bloomberg's campaign responded by saying that qualifying for this debate shows that the former mayor's message is resonating with Americans, and he looks forward to competing with the other candidates on stage Wednesday night. Keep in mind, Bloomberg is not running here in Saturday's caucuses, where the candidates are reaching out to a more diverse group of voters.
Having a cabinet, having a team that is like the rest of America matters. We've got to have representation.
Candidates are making their final pitches in a state where a third of the electorate is black or Latino.
I have had historically overwhelming support from the African American community.
And we're going to win this nomination.
With a comfortable lead in Nevada, Bernie Sanders' campaign in California and Washington state already looking ahead to states where there will be a new candidate on the ballot.
Mr. Bloomberg, you are certainly not going to win when you have a record in New York City that included racist policies like stop and frisk.
CBS News has learned Sanders aides have privately expressed concern that Michael Bloomberg, with his $415 million in campaign spending, would emerge as their most formidable opponent.
I'm Mike Bloomberg, and I approve this message.
And for the first time, the former New York City mayor targeted Sanders directly in a new digital ad, accusing Sanders of ignoring some of his supporters' aggressive tactics, likening them to President Trump. Back in Nevada, 26,000 voters have already participated in early voting. Some waited as long as 4 hours in line.
We'll try again tomorrow.
I don't know if I'll have enough volunteers.
After the debacle at the Iowa caucus, volunteer Seth Morrison is worried.
When we asked on the training this morning how that will work, what kind of data, what kind of charts, they said, we're working on a video to show you how the paper backup works.
Well, Nevada scrapped the app that was used in the Iowa caucuses, but state party officials say that they are confident that they have a secure and efficient process in place. Gail?
Well, what'd they tell us in New Hampshire, Nicole? You can't hack a pencil. Pencils always work. Thank you very much.